Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. Welcome to another market open stream. Welcome to April in general. And the market is about to kick off in a minute. But April is very, very bullish for Bitcoin and for markets. Why is that? Let's take a look and let's talk about what's going on in the world today. And there's the morning bell. The best bell in the industry. Just made it. Welcome, 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 guys. Today, the U.S. market is going to open mixed. You have Dow that's looking green, but NASDAQ pretty red for some reason. But there is one big event that's going on today, and that's OPEC. OPEC, all of a sudden, decided to decrease their production by 1.16 million barrels per day. So out of the blue, just when you thought that energy and oil and gas were coming down, well, think again, because with this cut, analysts are now warning that barrels of oil, which is right now at $80, up about 6%. It was around $70, may get as high as $100. So why is this bad? Well, obviously, bad on many fronts. Gasoline and crude oil, I mean, just oil-based products, anything from oil, really, will start going up, including plastics and anything else that's made from oil, right? Also, it's not going to help with inflation. Right now, every country on earth is trying to battle inflation. And they're trying to make it seem like, oil and the war and supply chain issues are the main causes of inflation, and trying to avoid this nasty topic of overspending and overprinting. But regardless, if oil does jump up, it's going to make things more expensive, right? So now going up from $70 to $100 per barrel could be bad. Could be bad. Usually, repercussions of this, a cut or increase takes months before we actually really see the difference. So the next CPI report could still indicate that inflation is going down, but who knows? U.S. is in a little bit different. It's different for U.S. A different situation because we have our own oil reserves, and Biden has been opening up more for the U.S. That's why our gas is still much lower than other countries, especially in Europe and Asia. So we'll see. We'll see. Of course, the U.S. does not like this move. U.S. calls this move inadvisable. Okay. But you know what? Recently I've been talking a lot about the start of the death of the dollar, right? Recently, there's been a lot of headline news about countries getting off the dollar standard. And I saw this, and at first glance, you're looking at this, and you're like, okay, this has nothing to do with the dollar, right? But then I saw this, and this definitely has something to do with it. So NATO nations right now, including the U.S., we have this cap on how much we can pay for Russian oil. And that cap is at $60. So obviously, Russia's not happy about this, right? And there's a lot of turmoil over this decision. Regardless, Japan today decided to break that cap, said, we're not going to follow that. We're going to buy Russian oil, and we're going to break that cap of $60. So they may be paying what the currency standard is, which is like $80 right now, right? I don't know how much they're buying it for. And Russia is not accepting USD anymore for its oil. So even though this headline doesn't say Japan is buying Russian oil and paying rubles, I think that's exactly what's happening right now. I don't think Russia is selling their oil to Japan in USD. If you think about it, it's either in Japanese yen or Russian ruble. It's not going to be in USD. So we're starting to hear more and more and more countries not using the USD. And a lot of people think that the only reason why USD is the world's reserve standard is because of oil. And if countries start buying oil with their own currency or with the currency of whatever country that's being sold from, well, that's really bad. That's really, really bad if you think about it, right? So I like to do more digging on this, but I doubt Japan is buying them with USD. And another thing, too, is they are the only U.S. ally that is breaking this. You know that the U.S. is furious about this, right? I mean, there's no way the U.S. could be happy about this, because if Japan starts breaking this, what about other countries that are desperate for oil? They may be breaking this embargo or this cap that NATO has assigned, right? So I guess we'll see. A lot of oil stuff this morning, a ton of oil stuff this morning. But outside of oil, there's more economic data. You have St. Louis Fed President Bullard. He's going to be speaking a couple times this week, including today and Friday. I don't know why twice in a week. And you have a lot of other economic data, like an unemployment rate that's coming out, non-farm payrolls that's coming out both on Friday. Those will be absolutely huge. Really, really big economic data. And other stuff too, ADP payrolls, but either the ADP payrolls is sometimes very off from non-farm payrolls, because ADP payrolls is data from ADP and they get adjusted off often. Non-farm payrolls is actually from the U.S. Census Bureau, or that's the wrong agency. I don't know which bureau or which agency it reports, but it's some kind of official U.S. government agency that does. All right, so a lot of stuff happening today and this week. Could be very volatile this week, right? But you know what? April, regardless of all these things, April is bullish for stocks and crypto. So Bitcoin specifically. So that's good. That's good. We're entering April, and it still amazes me that we're in April already. We just started 2023, it seems like. And now we're in April. We're almost halfway. If you think about it, we're almost halfway through the year. Time is flying by. Now, why is April bullish? Because traditionally speaking, Q1 of any year just isn't that good for businesses. Usually all the profits and everything, all the euphoria, the holidays, all Q4 of any given year. And Q1, you kind of restart. It's almost like Monday of the work week, right? No one likes Mondays. It's just the same thing. No one likes Q1 of any new year. But Q2 is when it starts getting better. And then Q3 gets better. And then Q4 is when you have a really good quarter. Traditionally, that's how it is, but doesn't mean that's always like that. But if you look at the stock market, S&P 500, going all the way back to 2012, traditionally, it has been green, right? Especially in 2020 after that big bailout that happened in March or after March, April 2020, right? We had that horrific drop. So obviously, yeah, it was better than most previous years, right? And then 2022, we had a little bit of a dip, but overall, you could see it's pretty much green all around, right? If you look at Bitcoin, it's a little bit more mixed, but more greens than red. You could see after the 2013 top, we had a couple of bad Aprils, but barely, just minus 3%, right? And then 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, all terrific. 26, 35, 28, 36% gains, right? Terrific. 2021 had a little dip, 3%, but that's only because look at March of 2021. We had a 30% gain, right? And then 2022, not so good because 2022 was actually a pretty bad year for Bitcoin. So if you look at it, April is actually pretty bullish for Bitcoin, right? We are recovering up from bottom. So that means this year could be equally as bullish as previous years. Okay, so something to look forward to. The remainder of this month, April, can we finally see Bitcoin break through 30,000 and possibly head higher? Well, a lot of signs, a lot of indicators do foreshadow that. Hey, new word, foreshadow. Michael Saylor is still saying Bitcoin is the superior asset, right? Since MicroStrategy bought in on Bitcoin, that's August 10th of 2020, Bitcoin is up 137%. Gold is down 2%. Silver's down 16%. Bonds down 17%. And even with S&P and NASDAQ up 22 and 11%, nothing comes close to Bitcoin. Nothing. That's why I still think it's the best hedge against inflation over a long haul, right? The greatest store value that we have. And Bitcoin will never be replaced. You have Bitcoin and everything else. And it's the same with crypto. It's Bitcoin and everything else. All coins are different than Bitcoin. You have Bitcoin and everything else. And we still have a lot of similarities to 2019. I've shown you guys a lot of charts that's showing this, right? But you look at a very bottom left-hand corner, that's when 2019, that's when we broke out, right? And then we started heading up in a big way. And then it was kind of halted because of the 2020 pandemic crash. But nevertheless, we still continue forward. And you see right now, pretty similar. Pretty similar. We broke out that trend, right? And greater things are coming. And here's a macro look of Bitcoin over the years, going all the way back to the first cycle and the second cycle and the third cycle. I mean, history doesn't repeat, but it certainly rhymes. I mean, you can't dispute that. It certainly rhymes, and it's going to be no different this time around. It's just we just don't know how high Bitcoin will be and how high it will go this cycle, right? But after this cycle, we will have another downfall, and then we'll have another cycle and another cycle, another cycle. But I would argue as we get more and more cycles and as the dollar amount per SAT per Bitcoin gets higher, the volatility will diminish and our drops and rises will be less significant as we move forward, right? It just makes sense, diminishing returns. But still, a lot of returns still left on the table. Also, I saw this. Ordinal inscriptions are blasting off to new highs. Look at that. That's a crazy jump. Since Ordinals has been introduced, there's been a ton of inscriptions, which basically you're taking like pictures and you're writing it into the block. Rather than use smart contracts, you could write descriptions and now pictures onto the block of Bitcoins. So that's how you're able to have NFTs on top of Bitcoin, right? But there's a lot of enthusiasm over this, a lot of development. Now there's more wallets that support this. There's more support tools, right? So overall, just adding more utility to Bitcoin. Although not everyone is happy about this. They don't want all the blocks to be clogged by pictures, right? But it is still getting a lot of people excited about Bitcoin. And outside of Bitcoin today, PancakeSwap, the biggest DEX on BNB, they're launching their V3. And this time, it's not just on BNB, it's on top of Ethereum. So they're going head-to-head with the biggest players like Uniswap and SushiSwap on top of Ethereum. And they are offering, according to them, the lowest trading fees in the market. But it's interesting that they are expanding now so that there's more competition. You know how Uniswap also, right? Uniswap also launched on BNB, so now there's really tight competition between the two. PancakeSwap, Uniswap, head-to-head, seeing who comes out as the dominant DEX, right? For both chains. So Interesting to see. And then also Cardano fans, there are whales that keep adding more and more and more ADA, right? Recently, ADA has done pretty well, bucked the trend and started going upwards, even though not really any big developments happening, right? But this could explain it, that there's just a lot of whales jumping back in and preparing for the next leg up. Sometimes it's just as simple as that, right? And according to this Twitter account, Cardano feed, retail investors hold 66% of the ADA in supply. I know that the staked amount is much higher. Staked amount is over 70%, but this is just measuring retail investors, right? But if you look at retail and whale volume, I mean, that's quite a lot, But anyways, just know that over 66% of ADA is being held by retail investors and not whale investors and not institutional investors. A large amount. All right, that's pretty much it. Bitcoin, a little bit in the green today, 28.2. Last night, I'm noticing Sunday nights we get like fake outs all the time now. So last night, Bitcoin just dipped down for no reason, down to about 27.5. And this morning, we went right back up about 28. Overall, we are still hovering above 28, still waiting to crack this 28.8. And once we do, 30K will be right around the corner. All right, let's do some Q&A. By the way, a few announcements. I found a company that will help me dub my live streams from the morning. So later on, I will make sure you pay attention to YouTube. I'll have a post and my Twitter, and I'll have a post there. Later on, we'll announce the very first CRU Spanish channel. I know there's a lot of people that have asked for Spanish translation, so it'll be completely dubbed in Spanish. Can't wait to hear it. And also, I did come out with a CRU Chinese channel before, right? Couldn't get someone to translate, but now I will have a dub. And I did listen to a video before. It was pretty accurate. So I'll have both debuting today, in case you guys are wondering, or you want to send it to your friends or parents or whatever. Both will be out. And I also worked very hard last night on like a wrap-up video of the next crypto gem, my thoughts and everything. It's a brilliant video, if I say so myself. I will release that later today too. Anyways, just want to give you guys an update on those things. All right. Let's see here. Scrolling the live chat. So I said, George, the flaw in your thought process demographic is Russia and China. Look at the age distribution and rethink your position. I don't quite get that. Are you saying there's more older people, younger people? I don't know what you mean by that. I think the age demographics is pretty similar across most countries. I may be wrong, but I can't see it being off that much. And even so, I don't know what that has to do with it. Does someone say full moon in April? Is that why? I don't know. Let's see. Jack, you keep asking if Sunday Swap is dead. I don't know. I don't know. And why is it relevant? There's a lot of dexes on Cardano. I'm pretty sure it's not dead. It's just probably not the biggest dex anymore. Ooh, we got a good pump here. Good pump right now. Sam, because you're not a YouTube influencer, you don't know. The reason why, first of all, is there's not a lot of excitement over Polkadot right now. And second of all, when you talk about Polkadot, no one cares, right? You kind of cater to the audience. So until you're in their shoes, stop like trying to be all pompous and arrogant and making it seem like you know everything. You don't. Will the U.S. release Bitcoins? Will the release of U.S. government Bitcoins keep the price going sideways for the remainder? No, Eli. I already mentioned this yesterday, and the answer is no. Robert just retracted his super chat, but I appreciate it. KOYO. I don't know who they are. MicroStrategies went above 300. That's pretty good. Market's turning around. NASDAQ is still. Coinbase barely up. Did I just see Tesla down 4%? I thought they just released some good, man, Tesla's down 4% for no reason. They just released some good numbers too. What's Riot at? Riot is down a little bit. It's surprising. Bitcoin stuff is down today. It should be up. Rhonda, Tesla deliveries were not below expectations. They were above expectations. That's the thing. Elon was calling out Reuters for saying that. The deliveries was like 423,000 and estimates were 420,000. So they actually beat it. But people were trying to make it sound like they did not. But anyways, it's still like a 30 or 40% year-to-year growth, and no other manufacturer is anywhere close to that. So I don't know why, Wall Street is so hung up on that. Even if they did miss, they're still growing like 40% year to year, which is insane if you think about it. Johnny, appreciate that. All's revealed. Yes, please don't ask me about Litecoin. There's nothing good to say about Litecoin. But overall today, 1.18 trillion. That's fantastic. Cardano is still doing good. I just covered about Cardano, whale scooping up ADA. It's up 17% this week. That's actually pretty good. XRP is still up almost 40% this week. What else is up in a big way this week? Stellar's up big because of XRP, I believe. Hedera's up in big way. Arbitrum is still down, but they're at number 39 now after airdropping. I still didn't check if I'm eligible for any. I gotta check that. Stacks is up. Conflux is up. That's the chain out of China. I didn't even pay attention. They're very volatile. They go up and down a lot. Wow, they're up 100% in 30 days. I gotta pay more attention to them. What else is up this week? XTC Network, not really familiar with them. Solar, that sounds iffy. 198%. Mass Network, I can see how Mass Network is up, but Solar, I don't know about this. Too much, too fast. Wow, they're on Binance already. Solar Blockchain Foundation is a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting SXP blockchain-related technology. This better not be another energy trading project, because they have all done very poorly in the past. Established in Estonia. Okay. Yeah, not okay. That kind of turned me off a little bit. All right, got off track there. Another George sending a super chat. Not welcome. Thank you. Where would you put 1K today? BNB, Matic, ADA, AVA, or BDC? I would just put into BDC right now. BDC is very, very strong. Very hard to outperform BTC, so you can't go wrong with that. How's Leia in real life? She's actually very intelligent. Very well spoken, and throughout all the days, very well dressed. So, yeah, I would say she's a really nice person. Nice person. AGIX, isn't that just Singularity or no? Yeah, Singularity is not a security protocol, really. I mean, AI security, no. It's just a decentralized marketplace for AI, which I think is all the AI projects. There's no new ones that really makes me think, wow, this is really cool, right, in the crypto space. So Singularities, they're around. I don't know how much integration or partnerships they will make with some of these new age AI projects. If they do, they will be carried with them, but I don't know at this point. They've been around for quite some time. I have not heard anything about them. Recently, they started coming up because of ChatGPT and all that, but I don't know about any new things. I just don't. Robert, thank you. Do you prefer working at a show for a big outfit or streaming for yourself? Of course, streaming. I could do it anytime. Like, I could do it in my hotel room and use my phone, right? As long as I get the right message across, people like to see that, right? But filming for a TV show, I mean, it is like a 10-hour day, and I speak for like 20 minutes, honestly. You know, there's so many reshoots and cuts and reshoots. Worry about, you know, any little thing. The background is off, reshoot. If the lighting's off, reshoot. If you mess up your line, reshoot, right? If there's a plane going by, reshoot. I mean, like, there's so many reshoots, so many different angles. If someone screws up one step, reshoot. Like, they're trying to make it perfect. I'd much rather do what I'm doing. Corey, yes. Many people have asked me. I always say yes. Nothing changes about these projects, okay? Like, these projects take years to develop and mature. So every day someone asks me, are you bullish on this or that or this and that? It's not going to change day to day or week to week or month to month. Ask me in 5 years and I could tell you if my mind changed. Thanks for everything, George. Truly, it changed my life. Helped me find my dream job. Ooh. What's that? I don't know. I think the biggest story of the day that most people probably will not cover is this. That Japan is defying the US and NATO by buying Russian oil above the $60 cap. And not only that, most likely they're not paying dollars for it. Right? So I think this is actually the biggest story of the day. This narrative about the USD, you know, kind of breaking down or starting to break down as a lot of countries start getting off the USD. Brazil is only going to do trade with China with yuan, I'm assuming. Russia, obviously, doing all their business with rubles or yuan at this point. Now, Japan is buying, probably not with USD, and there's other countries too. I cover some other country, Uganda or some other country that's also buying oil that's not in USD, right? I'm not saying the USD is not going to become the world currency next day or a week or a year. It's probably going to still take a decade. But still, this could be the start. Okay, Koyo, soon first DEX on Shibarium. Well, first of all, Shibarium has done really nothing for SHIB. I'm actually quite disappointed by that. I thought there would be a lot of more enthusiasm over Shibarium. There'll be a lot more dApps that come on board. We hear a lot about volume and burning, but it has done nothing to SHIB. So we'll see how good that DEX is. SHIB Swap should be the first DEX on Shibarium. I don't know why that's not the first DEX. %50 drop possible without another FTX. Sure, World War III breaks out, a nuke gets fired, something like that. Sure, it's possible. In the crypto space, no, I don't think anything is possible. Yeah, I don't even see why you would be asking that question. Is it because you missed out and you hope that you can buy Bitcoin at 14,000? We didn't even go to 14,000. We dropped to 15,000. We didn't even go to 14,000. Robert, I'm an over-the-road trucker and get to see firsthand how lousy the supply chain is. Seems like blockchain could definitely come to the rescue. Any thoughts on Morpheus Network? Morpheus has been around for a while, and they are in the supply chain mostly for shipping. I don't think they're really doing anything with trucks right now. They're doing a lot with shipping, but they're not the only ones. VeChain also does a lot with shipping. So, you know, the problem with a lot of these projects are they're B2B, and as a consumer, you don't get very excited about it, right? But for someone in your industry, in the shipping industry, you might be excited about it. But they have to figure out not only do these projects have to be useful, they have to figure out how to get people to actually utilize their tokens or their coins. Otherwise, the price never goes up either, right? So there's a challenge there. So Morpheus Network does look pretty promising, but whether or not consumers actually care, that's a different story. Lots of SHIB OGs and Koyo. You know, here's the thing. Does that really matter? Just because SHIB got to where it is, does that mean the OGs of SHIB can do it again or support something else and make it to pump as much as SHIB? The answer is no. It's just like if Satoshi came out and we could prove who Satoshi is and they started Bitcoin New or Bitcoin Maxi Coin. Does that mean it's going to be automatically as successful as Bitcoin? So you have to think about that, right? Revo, 2-year anniversary since my first CRU super chat. Thanks for the channel. Thanks for staying. What? I got a call. Well, thanks for being a loyal subscriber for the past 2 years. Thank you. All right, guys. Let's conclude overall today. Bitcoin is hanging there. Decently strong. U.S. market trying to figure out what to make of this. Oil prices are about to go up. Gas prices. Everything's about to go up. And Japan says, screw you, U.S. and NATO. We're not listening to you anymore. What does all this mean? Well, it means that we need to stock up more on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is looking like it's going to have a good month for April and even better as we move forward in this cycle. So smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.